Yo, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the videos. My name is Matt and today I'm out in the beautiful nature once again doing another review. So this time I'm going to be reviewing a lens that I don't know if you would call it reacquiring, but revisiting something that I've tried before in the past, and that is vintage lenses. And today I'm going to be talking about the super multi-coated Takumar 50mm f1.4, the all famous Takumar lens of them all. So let's talk about it. So the super multi-coated Takumar 50mm f1.4. Everyone knows about it, everyone has heard about it, but I actually haven't had a chance to really get my hands on one before until now, and I was actually able to get it on a pretty good deal. So this weekend I went to San Francisco with my girlfriend. We went to Golden Gate Park, and our day kind of started out a bit gloomy. I knew it was going to be raining, but I was hoping it would clear up, and clear up it did. We actually had a really fun time. We went to the Japanese tea garden, we went to the California Academy of Science, and then we also went to the all-famous Stowe Lake Strawberry Hill area, and I was able to actually get some really good sample footage, some good test footage with the lens, and also a couple other lenses. But yeah, so we're just going to be going over that stuff now. So one of the things that actually really surprised me about this lens, even given the enormous amount of reviews that I've seen about it, is the amount of detail that I can actually pick up for being such an old lens. It did a fantastic job picking up a lot of the details in the architecture when we went to the Japanese tea gardens, on the buildings, on the statues, on the flower petals, on everything. It was such a highly detailed area that I was really hoping that it would just pick it up, and sure enough it did. Coupled with the 4K imaging that you get out of this, it's a fantastic pairing, and you really do get a lot of great, fantastic detail. And yeah, I've been really happy reviewing the footage, looking at it, and just seeing how nice it looks. Also, when we went to Stowe Lake, you know, just picking up the details on some of the ducks that I was filming, I did a fantastic job picking up the color, picking up the difference in contrast and everything. It looked really good, so I was actually very excited about that. So the final two things about this lens kind of go hand in hand. One is that this lens is very characterized, and the second is that this is a very specific use lens, at least for myself. So for the first one, about it being a characterized lens, is that, well, it's a vintage film lens, so it's going to have a lot of character. They didn't engineer lenses the same way that they do now, trying to perfect bokeh, trying to perfect those coatings. It was all very kind of new level of technology, especially with the Takumars. So there is some interesting things going on, especially with the out of focus area that I noticed at least. Now the bokeh on this lens is fantastic, it's beautiful, it's just very, you know, pleasing to the eye. I don't really have any like exact specific specs to speak about like what type of bokeh it is, but I will say that it is just overall like very pleasing to my eye at least, and it doesn't like, it's not highly offensive. So yeah, it looks nice, but there are some areas with the out of focus area, if you're stopped down more, f4, f5.6, f8, that in my opinion I don't think look that great. It kind of smears the edges a little bit, and it looks more like a water painting than it does an actual like 4K image, which if you're looking for that kind of look, again, just like the warm color tone to it, great. But for me, when I was trying to pair it with my Sigma 18-35, which is a characteristically highly sharp lens, even in your out of focus areas, things look very clean and very pleasing. It just didn't match very well, and it was very clear and distinct which lens was being used at what time, you know, besides just being able to tell off the focal length. So that kind of was something that I noticed. I think in the future, if I was like, hey, I kind of want that kind of like dreamy kind of look to it with that kind of smeared out of focus area, not a problem. I would grab the lens in an instant and go ahead and use it. But trying to pair it with something that's a bit more modern, kind of difficult. And the second thing, this is a very specific use lens. Like I said, with the watercoloring, it's a tight focal length on micro four thirds. Now I was actually able to pick up a speed booster to go with this, so this is the actual lens itself on this cool little speed booster that I got. It is a Pixco, P-I-X-C-O, and it's an M42 to M43 speed booster. It's not smart, it's just a dummy adapter, but it actually has a piece of glass that reduces the focal length by 0.71 and also adds a stop of light. So it's actually very similar to my Comlight adapter, except that it just doesn't have contacts, and it's not designed for a, you know, modern EF mount lens. So With this on there, it's actually a 71mm lens instead of being a 100mm lens, which is actually kind of exactly what I was going for. I wanted something that would complement my 18-35, being that it's like a 26-50, a full frame equivalent at f1.3, and so I thought this would be kind of cool, being, you know, that it's going to be a 70mm, so it kind of just gives me that extra tight look, and being that it's already f1.4, it's going to be a stop faster, so that would be what, f1.2, something like that. I'm not too good with those types of things. I think it'd be about f1.2. Yeah, this just seemed like a really good option. And it has been. It's been really good with the focal length, but again, it's a specific use. I really need to be like, I need a tight shot of this, I need a detail shot of this, and like I said earlier, if I need a detail shot, this is a good lens to go with. I just had to keep those kind of characteristic things in mind when I am using it. So overall, I would say that this is a very capable, good lens, and that I'm very actually happy that I purchased it. I was able to really score a good deal on one of these. Typically they go around $80 to $100 because they've gotten really popular recently. My local camera store was selling one for $125. I picked this up on eBay for $50, and I was including the shipping. So go up there, bid, see if you can get one for cheap, because that's how I was able to get mine, and I actually talked the seller down to give me half the cost on shipping, so it was only 10 bucks instead of 20 bucks, and I just had to wait a couple extra days. But been really happy with this. You know, all the good things that you hear about it, the build quality is great, it just feels great, all that good stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.